What's Hey, man, listen, elementals. If only y'all could be backstage with your brothers. I'm telling y'all, it's pure comedy, and the majority of that comedy is coming from the northeastern quadrant. You guessed it. You guessed it. You guessed it. Well, we're back with part two of Real Boss Talk. I set it off last week. This week is the most special show to date from my perspective. Some of you may know that today is my solo return day. Today is my 41st birthday. And there's nowhere else I'd rather be right now than right here with y'all for this next 60 minutes. We're going to give y'all 60 minutes of straight fire, straight authenticity, straight truth from all of our dispositions. I'm going to put my butt back in the hot seat because I've learned
on his birthday. Wow.
I've learned, thanks to my cousin Lamar, to reframe my relationship with fear. So real quick, my cousin Lamar skydove like a month ago, maybe a month and a half. He's 41 as well. And I talked to him today for like an hour, like, cuz, so listen, all that other stuff, whatever people's asking you, I just want to know what opened up for you after that. And he shared with me that the relationship with fear has been transformed to a relationship with uncomfortability. And when you deal with fear, like fear literally has us stopped from, it impedes us from just about everything. Why didn't you do it? Nobody wants to talk about it. Thank you, cuz. Thank you for the happy birthday. All the elementals, thank you for the happy birthday. I love y'all. That as much as I've done in my life, and I don't need Win to tee it up. If y'all, checked out my man Win's post, you see it. It's all, check my resume. It's all there. I've accomplished a lot of things. Hang on.
Including that one right there. Including that one.
Oh, that is funny. That is funny. Yeah, last week's show had me think about a lot of things anyway. Oh, he's back. There we go.
Hey, good. Hey, look. Earth was trying to fill in for you, and then he was just like, "Oh, there he is." But hold on. Since we did have that dead time. Hey, Lamar, I don't know you, but you need to help me talk this guy into going skydiving, because I remember taking fire. You remember where we went? With Fred to the zip line, baby.
North Georgia. Where the heck was we at, bro?
I don't know, but it was the zip line. So that's not the. We were only a couple of 100 feet off the ground, so that's not the skydive.
Nah, but you were the first one that introduced me to some old thrill, some old stuff that Project Boy would have never done.
Exactly.
So I appreciate it. So Lamar, he says. So he's telling me this, and in my mind, I'm literally watching fear dissipate within myself. I'm like, uncomfortability. Let me try that on for a second. Bro, I've been uncomfortable my whole life. Like I'm quite comfortable being uncomfortable, such that I don't even acknowledge it as uncomfortability. But when you take fear, set it aside, and you replace it with uncomfortability, it's like, so what? It's like you feel the fear and you do it anyway. Like his most fearful point was before he jumped out of the plane. So I'm like, wait, when you jumped out the plane, tell me, I said, cut, you mean to tell me you didn't have your heart in the feet moment where your heart drops? He was like, that happened before I jumped out the plane. Lamar don't even know how profound this conversation was. And if he's watching, he knows it now. He said, the only time I experienced my heart in my feet, like that drop feeling, Jesus Christ, hang on.
So I think what he's queuing up, guys, is the elements. The elements go skydiving. That's what I'm hearing from. I'm hearing from Fire. I'm still in your thunder right now, bro. Like the elements going skydiving. Is that what you're? Is that what you're? Is that why you're queuing this up?
We're gonna get there. So the scariest moment was when the moment before his jump partner launched them out of the plane. Think about that. The scariest moment was the moment before he actually was free falling to the Earth's surface at a terminal velocity of 120 miles per hour with a dude strapped to his back, you know? And so I think that's any point, any ledge, any wall, perceived wall that we're up against, driven by fear, and we're scared. It's a failure to launch. And all you have to do is just freaking jump. All you have to do is just launch. Just he said it was the most peaceful experience as he's falling. I'm like, what? He said, bro, it was so peaceful. I said, could you breathe? He said, absolutely. I had no problems breathing. He was like, the only moment that really was a transition for me from a sensory perspective was when the parachute deployed and I slowed down, then everything kind of slowed down. I had to remember to breathe normally because my breathing was different in the free fall phase. So since last week's show, I had a homework assignment. A homework assignment was given to me by Earth. The request was to look at and write down all of the contexts that I have created and speak and be, and I have and I hold strongly held beliefs as though they are true. So I'm like, oh man. So we're just gonna put it out there. We're gonna just set the show off. So
and play the tape back. Did you play it back?
I rewatched the tape too. So the one thing that I hold on to, man, listen, elementals, I'm in the hot seat today. But put yourself in the seat. And it's like consciously, psychologically, emotionally, put yourself in the seat. Like we talking about fire's fear and fire's brave enough to get naked and be exposed. So, you know, just get over here with me. From your own set of fears, the things that have had you stopped. Just put yourself inside of that. So the first thing was that I'm just a little black boy from the projects trying to make it. I'm just a ghetto child trying to make it. Like on some Master P stuff. I'm just a ghetto child trying to make it. And on its head, like on the surface, that's like, yo, that's dope, man. You a ghetto child trying to make it. You a college grad, got an MBA from basically Ivy League school, one of the top programs in the world, executive program. You made it to the league, this, that, and the third, on and on and on and on and on. I'm just a ghetto child trying to make it. All of those things that I just mentioned makes me feel good. There's a psychic reward inside of a ghetto child trying to make it. Like all those worldly accomplishments, like I'm just a ghetto child trying to make it. I feel like a king. I feel like a 1%er, a talented 10th Negro because of what I've been able to do as what? As who? Just a ghetto child trying to make it. But that's insufficient. And I'm no longer a ghetto child trying to make it. Like, I've been out the hood for like 30 years. You know what I mean? Like I haven't lived in the projects literally since I was like 14, 13 years old. Now I lived in the hoods, but the projects, like I've been out of the hood for almost 30 years. Like that is a story that is that I have to retire. I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, that was like chapter 1, bro. We on chapter 10. What are you talking about? What are you talking about right now? You don't need that to stand up and hold you up and show yourself approved, to pat yourself on the back. Like whether you was a ghetto child or whether you was born with a trust fund and a silver spoon, if you was gonna make it. Because that's in you. Like that's who you are. You don't need the struggle story to be great. So in this moment, I surrender the struggle story. Because what I couldn't see is how the struggle story, even though that thing gonna be $500,000 this year, best year yet, is beyond ankle weights. It's an anchor that's got me tethered to a reality that only a ghetto child can conceive. Like most ghetto children can't even conceive making 100,000, let alone 5 of them. But a child of God, a demigod of sorts, God incarnate in the flesh. This might scare some people, but it is what it is. It's my birthday. I'm gonna say what I want. That's small. Like that's real small. That's real. There is no limits. A child of God, like 500 is like, it's not even about the money. A child of God operating as God in the flesh with a unique personality, with unique gifts and talents. I'm not even thinking about money. When Earth said, like, I asked Earth, I said, man, what you do? Like, how do you satisfy the needs? Like, what did you think about your needs? He's like, I didn't think about my needs. I just know that those things are, as a child, when you operate as the being you were called, put here to be, all that stuff is added unto you, man. All that stuff is added unto you. And I get that. Yes, Danny, we are made in his image. I get it. Call us by our name. They not ready, sis. They're not ready. So, as a child of God, the thing that compels me, and I swear on everything I love since this show last week, it's just been signs everywhere. Friends, strangers, family, TV, radio, podcast, in my feed. Like, it's like, yo, when said the spine in our bodies is an antenna into the ethereal or unseen realm or world. And that as an antenna carries and receives signals. And how we care for our bodies, in our consumption, in the environments that we're in our thoughts, diet, exercise, all of that determines the static or the clarity of that frequency and that hit. When I got you, bro. I did rewatch the show, and y'all was dropping some major nuggets.
That's right, exact.
Yeah, y'all was dropping some major nuggets, man, and I want you to know that. And so where I'm going is this. So boom, you got my first story, ghetto child trying to make it. I'm not. I'm not. That's not who I am. That's not what I am. Not even close. Second thing is, I want to do my passions, but I got to take care of my family. Ooh, I'll say it again, because I want to do my passions of what God put on my heart, but look, the dog is even riled up. I got to take care of my family. What does that imply? Elementals, what does the but imply? It implies that you can't have one without the other. It implies that they are mutually exclusive. Wow. Who created that? Can't blame the white man. Can't blame that. I did. I allowed that to be in my language. And so I want to take care of my family. I am taking care of my family. It's not even like something I want to do. I am taking care of my family. And I am living out my highest calling and my passions in perpetuity. It doesn't have to look a certain way forever. The beauty of it is I don't know what it looks like 20 years from now. Remember, I'm a Virgo. I'm the guy who submitted a playbook for his entire career at PPG, 20 years from outside the company. Studied the careers page for hours, wrote down, typed out everything I wanted to do by when and what I'm going to do in that role, what I want to gain from that role, and gave that to them. They say, we never, I've been doing this a long time. We've never seen anybody present to us a playbook, a game plan for their whole career with us. That put me on the fast track. That's when I was playing the survival game. Those are the two contexts predominantly, Earth. Going back full circle to your inquiry, I'm gonna turn it over to you. That override or has been overriding, that I allowed to override my life. The ghetto child trying to make it, and the guy who has to take care of his family. But right, who wants to do his passions, but he has to take care of his family, like that guy. Those are the two things that I came up with to complete the homework, bro.
Let me say something real quick. The very first thing that you need to acknowledge is that you're not trying to make it. You've already made it. And now it's just time to take it up a notch and go to the next level.
Thanks.
And I'll just pause right there. Go ahead, Eric.
No, that was really, really good. I mean, it was just spot on from what I could see. And I can tell you really sat down and you looked. You took a really, really deep look and you evaluated not what you saw on the surface, because there's always layers underneath, and just getting to the root of it. And when you said, "Oh, I'm a ghetto child trying to survive," that's at the root of it. And then it's liberating to see the root, because you see what's been running the show, and it's expired. It is totally expired, but it's still, it's like an old hoopty. You've ridden the wheels off completely, and you still sitting there pumping that gas, doing the best you can to get one more mile out of this thing. One more mile. So that's great. And really, when you distinguish that, all that's left to do is create a new context. And then be present to when that expires. That's going to expire. And then you just create another context. Then that's going to expire. And so your life, or better put, our lives are built on a mountain of context. Yeah. And it's just how many contexts are we standing on that have expired? That's the question. How many contexts are we standing on that have expired?
Wow.
So we have a lot of lay people out there, kind of break it down so it's palatable, it's digestible for everybody.
So basically what I'm saying is how many dreams is the way to put that. How many goals have we created for ourselves? We dream of being whatever, and we pursue that dream. And then the fulfillment of that dream comes, and we're still pursuing the dream, as though we have not reached the fulfillment of the dream. And it basically keeps us in this cycle of wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat is what it does. And many of us will end up on the same job, meaning we may have switched companies. It's the same job, just different looking people. And the same people, they just look different. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. And that other job may pay more money, but it's the same job. It's still pulling on you, still requiring the same thing. Because we've already fulfilled that goal or that dream. And we're moving through life as though we haven't. And then we're moving through life as though we haven't because we've attached ourselves to a dream. I don't attach myself to no dreams, no nothing. The dream sits over there. My goal sits over there. I'm sitting over here. All I do is manage it. I do not embrace it as though it's mine. It's just something that's just sitting there. I just manage it. That's it. So when it expires, it's expired. I'm on to whatever is next. Okay, this is fulfilled upon. Can I build on this? I'll look at that. Well, yeah, no, actually, let me do something totally different. I don't want to build on that. Bro. And that's our lives. Unfortunately, we're programmed to be that. Even as a shorty, we're programmed to be that way. Just imagine, like, when you're a shorty, you have like a mountain of dreams. And the moment we begin, especially those of us who play sports, what's the first thing that happens? Oh, you have to specialize in something.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you may have the skill set to do a plethora of things. No. You either specialize. You're a running back, quarterback, DB. Well, you can kind of do DB and maybe running back. Yeah, we'll let you do part-time, but the higher you climb, the more you specialize. And so it forces your dreams to do this. Become very narrow. So when it expires, you can't really see anything else because you've been trained not to see anything else. But your specialty, quote. So that's all you have is this specialty or this dream that's expired. And even if you attempt to think of something else, the thought of it as a reality doesn't exist. The thought may come, but as a reality for yourself doesn't exist. You stay in this specialty lane in this expired context.
There is an analogy that you have, Earth, about the monkey with the banana in the trap. Will you repeat that for us? Because that's how we actually operate in life, with our jobs, with money, with this and with that. Please share that with the people.
So certain places in Africa, the way that a hunter catches a monkey is by simply getting a small cage and putting a banana in the cage. And as human beings, we have these goals, these things that we hold on to. And it's literally in a cage. And the cage is the context that we put it in. It's the box. And the monkey goes up, sees the banana. This is nice. I don't have to climb no trees. Easy access. Reaches into the cage, grabs a banana. Now he has his goal. It's there. He's got his banana. What does the hunter do? Does the hunter run up to the monkey? No. The hunter literally walks up to the monkey with the club in his hand. Now the monkey is sitting there screaming and hollering. Just like when our context is expired, we scream and holler because life isn't working the way we want it to work. This pressure, this things coming from everywhere. And all the monkey has to do is let go of the banana and it'll be free. All we have to do is let go of that expired context and we'll be free. But what does the monkey do? Hold on to the banana as though this is the only banana in the forest. None other. Even though the monkey knows there's some bananas up in the tree. But this banana is the banana, the golden banana. Even though the banana is about to get him clubbed upside the head, and the monkey knows it, because the monkey's screaming and trying to run, but it can't get his hand and the banana through the bars on the little cage. And so the hunter just comes up, clubs the monkey upside the head and drags it off. In order for the monkey to be free, or in order for us to be free, it's just to open our hands. That's it. No more, no less than that. You open your hands, the monkey is actually free to go out and eat other bananas. We're actually free to go out and pursue other dreams. It's easy. Like life, I promise you, life is easy. It is extremely, extremely easy. Like banana. And so basically, let go of your expired context or your dream that's expired. And you know when your dream has expired, when life around your dream is not working the way you want it to work. It's causing something to happen. Stress, anxiety, depression. Whenever you get in this mode of I have to blah blah blah, those are telltale signs of an expired dream or an expired context. Time to create something new. So I hope that made sense to everyone.
Water is chomping at the bit. Go ahead, Water.
Say what? Somebody say something?
30 minutes in.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like Danny's response. This is really good. I love it when people say this.
Which one?
That's her last response. The last response at 8. Yeah.
So before I read this, I'm looking at. I see the jungle. I see the trap. I see the monkey with his hand holding on to the banana. I see the bananas in the tree. What I also saw was that the monkey sees other monkeys eating bananas.
Right.
It's like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
you can see the banana tree. You know you about to get taken out. You know that the path is probable and certain that you are going to get clubbed to death if you don't let go. Yet you hold on and you see your homies, those creative monkeys, those ones who learn how to manage and deal with fear, just the happy as can be, cracking bananas left and right. You like, and you still holding on. You said something. You said, this is how you know that you're out of, this is how I heard it. This is how you know when you're out of alignment is when there are circumstances going on inside of an inspired context. There are circumstances, life situations, physiological responses to the environment that should not be. It is hard. Your body's telling you it's hard via stress and dis-ease, sleepless nights, weight gain, poor diet, etc. You don't have no time for yourself. You don't have no time for the people you love. This is a paradigm shift, Earth. We have been conditioned to believe that is what it is. Like, this is the game. Like, duh, of course you're stressed out. Of course you had to concede your weekend to finish that deliverable. Of course you had to not be present with your family at dinner because you got a strap plan due for your boss at 8 a.m. that you got to deliver your 2023 plans. That may or may not be a real story.
We become cynical and resigned as if life is that way.
This is it.
This is it.
Yeah, and you have a monkey that will run past you with a bushel of bananas. Like, man, you about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he having fun. He got an abundance of bananas. Mm-hmm. I got homies like that. You know, you guys are part of that. You guys are part of that group of homies that y'all worry. Y'all don't worry about the stuff I worry about.
We do. We just worry in a different way. It's not construed as worry. We just deal with the same stuff. It's just different.
You deal with the same stuff.
We relate to things differently.
Yeah.
We operate in a different context with what we're dealing with.
Right. And so the measure, like, I don't know what all these guys make, right? But I'm probably in the top 2 of the 4 of us, right? And it doesn't matter. The measure of a man and the measure of success and the measure of attainment, guys, girls, elementals, is not money, man.
And it's not what you make, it's what you keep and what you transfer to your family.
Well, it's none of those, really. I mean, at the end of the day, what it really is about it's about you. I'm kind of just being with the conversation because I'm having a tough time actually relating, because I don't struggle, like I'm kind of with Earth, hey man, it's time to let that go or whatever. However, I think that it's the whole conversation about money is, don't get me wrong, I spend a lot of hours every day chasing money. However, I don't think that when we're on our deathbed, if we are fortunate enough to realize that we're about to die, right, on our deathbed, because some people just you're gone. But if you have that experience, you're not going to be thinking about, oh my God, like I earned my bank account has this amount in it. That's not what you're going to be thinking about. It just won't matter. So I think that what you're saying when definitely matters in the context of accumulating money and wealth and things like that. But, I think what I was hearing you say, Fire, was that, like, it's not about, like, the money's not going to get you anywhere. Like, really, the relationship that you have with your family will be the thing that you're thinking about during that death, like, oh man, my sons, what will they do, that I'm not here, and I won't be able to witness this, and my wife, and you'll be thinking of those things. You won't be thinking of, man, like, I earned this amount and I left this amount in my bank account and this is what my life insurance policy is. That was what I was hearing you say, Fire.
Yeah. Let me say this though. Where money might not be the end all be all, money is certainly the measure of how we function in life. We call it currency. Money is energy, and it reflects our capacities. So for instance, if you have a millionaire mind state, you're a millionaire. If you have a billionaire mind state, you'll reflect in the billions. It's currency. So there's energy to it. It matters in that sense.
I think you missed what Fire.
I didn't miss anything, bro. I promise you.
Well, from what you're saying, like, I'm missing what you're saying because it doesn't align with what I heard from Fire.
I know. Play the playback.
Rewatch the show, and I'm gonna pull the water and say y'all both right. Because let me explain.
That's a fact.
Y'all both right, because what I was saying, to restate what I was saying more articulately, the currency money, the legal tender money is no longer the measure for a man's success in my consciousness. Now, what's more important than that is my full self-expression. And as a result of that full self-expression, the vibrational frequency in my being the flow or the currency of money will flow beyond that which I can even dream of as just a function of my gift making room for me. What we talked about earlier. So water's disposition is at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, when you get ready to go see the big guy or your life, you get ready to hang the cleats up in life, you're not gonna be thinking about no
you can pour your current C, current D, current F. It don't matter, bro. Like
you're not thinking about no currency, no legal tender.
Yeah, you could like slice and dice that all you want to, and you could tell me to replay whatever tape. But at the end of the day, bro, you ain't like when you checking out, none of that matters.
Said in a different way, we are creative beings. And we're here to create and fully self-express. And your monetary compensation is a reflection of your capacity to create in this physical form. Not saying that that's the end all be all.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say it again.
Play the tape back, bro. We moving. We going.
Whoa. No. Say that again, because what I heard you say is that. Say it one more time. I want to make sure I got that.
Which part? I said
what you just said.
You want me to say the whole thing again?
What I'm saying is that we are creative beings. We're here to create and fully self-express on this plane, on this physical plane.
Okay.
All right. And your financial remuneration oftentimes reflects your capacity to create. It's just a reflection. It's a direct correlation. Now, I'm not saying that's all the time, but in general, that's true. As it stands in 2022. So what I'm getting at is that, like I said in the previous episode, mastery is a function of synthesizing our education, our experience, and our exposure to things, and dedicating and committing ourselves to something and going after it like nobody's business.
You know what we did? We went down a rabbit hole. We forgot Danny's comment.
No, you wanted to override us going to Danny's comment, and you're the birthday boy, so I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just drop that off the screen.
Let's get it back, bro. Let's get Danny's because I think a lot of people are right here. I want to bring it back to the elementals. We can pontificate. Yeah. We can pontificate.
Yeah. I didn't want to go there with Win because like he was doubling down on like, you know, money is the end all, and I was like, okay,
I never said that.
He got to watch the tape, bro.
I said the opposite.
He got to watch the tape, bro. After we take the advance.
That's your boy. That's hey, you got to watch the tape. You know, you got to watch the tape.
Big shoe in the building. So Danny says, but we scared the opportunity may not present itself again. That's why we hold on to the banana.
Yeah, you know that we're scared because we're taught that opportunity only strikes once. That's one of the biggest fallacies ever. Opportunity always strikes. It just looks different every time it strikes. It's not always going to look the same, but opportunity to fulfill upon something, whatever that something is, will always present itself. Always. There's not an instance when it will not present itself until you may move on to want to do something else. That's the case when it does. We just have to begin to shift just how we this speak about opportunity, how we even view opportunity, period. Opportunity is always going to present itself. But we just have to know that that's what's so.
There is no scarcity of opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's grab Michelle Patton's comment at 5:47. So Sister Michelle says, it's when we are being led by fear that keeps us from being who we are supposed to be. We don't understand or accept that sometimes being uncomfortable is what we need in order to be all that we can be. Pass the plate. You hit the nail on the head. It's a reframing and a creation of an entirely new context. Like fear, we know all about it. It's well documented. We know it keeps us stopped, but uncomfortability is just I'm a little uncomfortable. But to frame it up to so much as to say that inside of the uncomfortability is where I find peace, is where I find myself. Is willingness to be uncomfortable opens me up to the highest level of obedience to whatever unctions are deposited within me. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a 40-year bid. Earth talked about basically dating the same employer with a different face. And you can say dating the same guy with a different face too in the context of relationships. It's all the principle applies. You can extrapolate it across all experiences as being a human. And I was sitting there shaking my head because, man, you know how long I've been a frontline sales leader? At 3 different titles, same job. 3 different titles, roles, and responsibilities did not change. I just made more money and changed geography. And I think I'm doing something different. Like, we talk about the generation before us being the generation who worked for 40 years and then got sick and then died. And in a sense, because I look at my resume, I look at all the companies I worked for, and it's like, well, I'm not doing that. They were stupid. And at least I'm making more money with all this shucking and jiving and moving and all this stuff. It's the same jig, boss. It's the same jig, boss. And I've had it. I've had it. Let's go to Fatima Jones.
Hold on, before we go there, like, I want to say that, I mean, who is comfortable being uncomfortable? I mean, bro, like, I mean, really, Earth?
I had to train myself.
That's a
really
fact.
Being
Absolutely.
uncomfortable. Yes.
Absolutely.
I had to train myself.
Really
being uncomfortable. And when I'm uncomfortable, I'm settled.
I mean, in the wild, right? Not on the show, but I'm talking about in the wild, right?
In
like
life.
it's easy for us to, it's easy for us to say, like me, I already know. I know for a fact, dude, I'm not comfortable being uncomfortable. Like, you guys know, like 10 times out of 10, I'm the reason that we start the show late because I'm not comfortable changing my routine. Like, it's just not comfortable to me. So, like, I mean, I hear wind already queuing up in Earth. I mean, I hear you guys, but I'm saying, like, really, if we actually go into the wild, right? And we basically pull you at, like, oh, okay, well, you have this schedule, whatever it is. It could be your schedule. It could be, what you eat. It could be anything. Like, I don't get, I can't see. I know us four to know, you 3 guys well enough to know that I'm like, really?
Well, let me reframe it.
Comfortable being uncomfortable is what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
if you want to reframe it and change what I was saying, you could do that. But I'm saying, who's really comfortable being uncomfortable?
So I'm going to reframe it. So from a physiological standpoint, our bodies, our minds are trained to assist us in survival. And so we have a particular threshold for pain. But as we ascend in our consciousness and awareness, we understand that to get to other levels, we have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Meaning that we have to stretch ourselves and extend ourselves to, go to different positions in life. Just like in school, at first you were scared of the 5th grade, but then you endured the 5th grade and you transitioned to the 6th grade. And there was a particular time when you was afraid of going to high school, but you endured that. Then you was afraid to go to college, but you endured that. And then you was afraid to go to corporate America, and you endured that. So given those experiences allows you to sit back and say, oh, I could be comfortable with being uncomfortable because why? I won. I succeeded. I did that. So you just have to remember, you're a winner. You did that.
So let me say what I mean by being comfortable, being uncomfortable. I recognize the uncomfortability. It's there. But what I do is I just say, okay, this is what we're doing. And I'm fine with it. Literally. The moment I get, okay, this is what we're doing. No different than you know, I shared with you guys that the elementals don't know. So when I was in Ghana, I came down with malaria. Initially, I was uncomfortable, but within maybe an hour or so, 2 hours, I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. I was actually, I'm not saying I didn't want malaria. It did not feel good at all, but I was fine with having it because what was I going to do with it? I wasn't going to whisk it away. It's there. It's what I'm dealing with in the moment. And the moment I become comfortable with it, I can actually think. When I'm uncomfortable with it, I'm not settled. But the moment I'm settled, there's resolution. There's all these things that come. And so I just say, okay, you know what? This is what we're doing. The moment I say that, I come down and I'm fine with it. That's what I mean by, yeah, I can be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, we often fight with reality. And we just got to just be with reality for what it is. And say, if this is the particular outcome, is this the result that I want? You know, we're going to do whatever it takes to get to the other side. And that's commitment. It's a declaration. It begins with a declaration. And then you have your actions consistent with that declaration to fulfill upon that.
So I hope that gave you a little more context, Water. It's not like, because you have to know that you're uncomfortable to even get to a point where you can be comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I just hear people when they say I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. And I'm like, no, you are selectively being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Like, but there's just like, I'm sorry. I mean, I witnessed you be uncomfortable and you're like, ah. And so like, I don't want to hear that, but I get what you guys are saying. And, like, I understand that, like people have to work up, but, I think that I just really think that, we do a good job of like really sitting on a high stoop saying things, like, fear is, like fire, like fear is, that's because we don't have fear right now. Like you get something that you have fear around, you're gonna be dead stopped. It's just what it is. And so in that sense, I do 100%. Like I don't have a fear fire of what you are dealing with, but I definitely resonate with it because I see my fears. Right. And like I talk to you guys about my fear when I'm dealing with something, I'll be like, hey, this is what I got going on. You guys know that. And so I'm pretty open and honest off air about, like some of the things that I deal with and I fear. So I can really, really, truly relate. But I think that sometimes, like we really get on our, this kind of cloud and we talk about how, fear is just not real or whatever. And but when you're in a space and you are experiencing it, it is as real as reality. It is there. And you're not going to you're not going to be thinking about, it's false evidence appearing real. You're not thinking that, dude. You're like, oh my God, there is a big grizzly bear right there. It's just, I guess my whole thing is that, sometimes fear, and I've talked about this. I think when you and I were talking about this last week, matter of fact, a couple of days ago, sometimes like fear is a useful tool for us. Just in that case, in that example of the bear, fear is very useful. So it's not something that we should just be like, hey, it doesn't exist. Hey, bro, it's something that you can use as a tool for yourself. So, I think that the same thing with the uncomfortability thing, instead of me sitting here saying that, like I'm comfortable being uncomfortable, when I know that I'm selectively, like you guys know, like I work out and, don't eat this and, do this extreme sports and snowboard and all that, so yeah, I get uncomfortable and it gets cold, whatever, extremely cold, and I have to deal with that. But those are selective things. But if you just took me and placed me in, I don't know, a pit of snakes and bugs or something, bro, I'm not gonna get comfortable there. Like it just is not gonna happen.
I understand your vantage point, but I vehemently disagree with you, and I'm gonna just show you. I'm gonna just
you disagree because I'm talking, dog. Like that's really what.
Well, that too. That part.
Hey, this guy disagreed because I said something.
No, but seriously, each and every day as a portfolio manager, as a trader, I am in fear of losing capital each and every day. I am in fear of losing clients and people and business partners each and every day. However, in the face of that fear, I rely on my experience. I rely on my expertise, my education. And I sit back and I say, oh, instead of me fearing this, there's an opportunity for me to actually make some capital out of this play. And I go for it. So in the face of that fear, I still I'm getting after it, bro. So there's nothing that's, there's certain times where you might have an extreme example where it might stop you, but on an everyday basis, despite the fears, we still rocking.
So let me say this. We can only comment on the experiences of fear and how we responded to it. I can't say a pit of snakes. I can only say, for example, I've been on a plane flying to, where was I going? Minnesota, I think that's where it was. I'm asleep. The pilot gets on and says, I forgot something malfunctioned and we have to make an emergency landing. You know what I did? I went right back to sleep. You know what everybody else is doing? You just heard this panic. You just heard it. And I'm not saying that there's nothing that I could be faced with where there won't be panic or there won't be some response that says, oh, I'm just afraid through the entire process. But I can say, just based upon my personal experiences, I've been mountain biking and taking air. Air means you're off the ground, right? And I took a bad line and I'm literally doing about 25, 30 miles an hour. And I'm making a beeline towards a tree. I never remember being afraid. And the first time in that experience, all I did was look at the tree, made a calculation, literally ejected from the bike right before it hit the tree, flipped on my back. So I landed on my bladder and slid and jumped to my feet. So I can only comment based upon how I responded in those situations. That's all I can do. No different than when we went snowboarding. I had a horrible fall. Yeah, my ribs were bruised like I don't know what, but I got right back up. And it's like, okay, so what we doing? I could barely breathe, but I wasn't stopped by the fear. I wasn't in a state of like, it was uncomfortable, but I said, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what I'm dealing with literally in the moment. And so I got up and board back down to the bottom. And I kept going. I went right back up the lift. And my thing is, if I'm doing something and I crash, I have to go right back up to that point and do it again. If not, fear sets in after that. If I don't go back and go that same route, if I crashed on a mountain bike or I crashed snowboarding or whatever, I have to take the same route. If not, fear will set in after that. I'll be like, I'm not going to do that. So I can just only say it based upon my personal experiences and how I respond to those things. Not a pit of snakes. I don't put me in a pit of snakes. I don't know.
And truth be told, Water, you know what we're talking about because you've experienced it yourself in business, where you've been down and you, in the face of being down, in the face of being fearful about being down, you still stayed steadfast and did whatever it took to get on the other side. And look at you now.
That's definitely, that's not what I'm saying. It's just, I am saying that I empathize with, I think probably what was missed upon what I was saying is that I empathize with Fire and his dealing with fear.
Oh, of course.
What you and Earth are talking about is how you guys like smack fear in the face, like fear. And I'm saying that, like, I am coming from the standpoint of I empathize with this man dealing with what he's dealing with, because I actually talk about when I'm afraid of things. I don't sit here and I'm not insinuating that none of the elementals, you guys aren't, pretending. I'm not insinuating anyone is. I'm saying for myself, I don't sit here and say, yeah, this time when I was scared, I did this. I'm actually showing, hey man, I get where you're coming from, bro. That's really what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to Fire. And I'm saying that I think that more times than not, what we do is we talk about stuff that's unrelatable. And so if I'm in fear, if I'm fearing something and you're telling me how I shouldn't be scared, dude, shut up. Like, that's what I'm thinking. That's like your cousin that you're like, hey, that guy's a loser. She's like, shut up. I love him. Like it doesn't matter what you say. Like that's the wrong thing to be saying to that person. And I'm saying that in Fire's case, I'm saying, hey man, I empathize with you because I'm not afraid of that, but I do know what it feels like to be scared. And I know what it feels like to actually be stuck, right? Not the pit of snakes not the pit of snakes example that I was bringing up, but just stuck in my life straight up from fear. And it's a fear that, like, when I talk to you guys, like, you're like, yo, that's easy. Like, I just However, like, that's, for me, that's not as impactful as being like, hey man, like, I get that. And, this is what I was afraid of. And when I was afraid, this is what I did to get up out of that, so that I wasn't sitting here still, that was 3 years ago. And I would still to this day be blah, 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 blah. Like, to me, like, I think that that's much more, at least that helps me when somebody does that to me.
Of course. I mean, don't get it twisted. Me and Earth, we certainly empathize with Fire for sure. But what I was saying is that, Fire has been through this before. I mean, look at the statistical truth about getting to the NFL. He was afraid to do that, but he pushed through that. He was afraid about having family and getting married. He pushed through that. He was afraid to get his college degrees. He pushed through that. So this is just another area in life that he's going to push through. We just helping him push.
Yeah, I don't remember. Let me back up. So based upon you restating your point, I get it. Before you were, I don't know what you were saying, really, because obviously I was off. I wasn't comprehending what the point that you were making. But when you restated it, I get your point. And it's just, yeah, I definitely can feel like where he is. And like I said before, for me, the key thing for me is I train myself to be a certain way. So I can relate to where he is 1,000%. I definitely relate to that. And I have sympathy for where he is a lot, because I've been down that road. But to me, it's just, at the end of the day, when you're faced with it, what are you going to do? in the face of it.
Yeah, fire. We've been talking a lot. What are you gonna do?
Perfect wrap up, bro. What I know is that I'm being pushed. I'm being moved. What I know is the context that I created and the path that I chose is expiring like milk with a couple days left on the shelf life. I don't have all the answers in terms of what it looks like. What I can tell you is when it comes, I'm just taking action. Like in perpetuity. I mean, Wynn talked about the fear of pursuing the NFL, the fear of being a husband and being a father, the fear of, going into corporate America. I recall there were like moments, there were blips. And then it was the action that made the feeling of the experience of fear dissipated was the action. And so what I know is that much like those experiences, low probability type experiences too, that got done, that everything else would get done. And what I know is that everybody watching and listening, you will know when it's time for you to know. And I need y'all to support the HE double hockey sticks out of whatever it is that I'm doing, because it won't be for my ego. I can tell you that, but I know that it won't be for me. I can tell you that it won't be to transfer legal tender from my bank account to some creditor's bank account or some landlord's bank account. It'll be 100% under the inspiration of the Most High, my ancestors, period, point blank. So support that. Support the HE double hockey sticks out of whatever comes out of me, because I surrender. I've been a vessel. I know that. I know that. And I accept. And I don't resist anymore. I'm trusting God. I'm trusting my ancestors. I'm trusting my brothers. I'm trusting my tribe. I'm trusting the tribe that haven't even came into my consciousness yet, in my peripheral, that exists out there, that is just like, yo, we're waiting for you, bro. Where you been at? Where you been at, bro? Like, we've been waiting for you. And we're so glad you're here. And so my life henceforth is about the medicine that's in me and getting it out in perpetuity. Plain and simple, man. So that I know for sure.
And what I know for sure, Fire, is that you're an extraordinary human being. You're a very powerful man. You have touched so many people, and you will touch so many people in this lifetime. You're going to do extraordinary things. And all that you have learned from, all that you've experienced, is all going to culminate to make something very beautiful for you and your family, as well as your people. So there's nothing to worry about, man. It's like you just said, take the necessary actions to get to the other side, to make it happen. And you got my full 1,000% support. And I ended off on that.
Appreciate you, Wynn. Big Shoe in the building. I appreciate you, bro.
And I love you, brother.
What? I got an I love you first.
On record.
Publicly.
Live and direct.
Play the tape back, man.
Play the tape back.
I appreciate you, bro, man. You know I love you too, man.
And I love you, water. And I love you, earth. You know, all of us are going to do extraordinary things together. This is just the beginning. That's my word.
And I love you too, Win, man. And I know you're the only one I can count on, bro. That if I say that the sky is blue, you're gonna be like, but I disagree. There are situations where
it's gray.
Yes.
The reflection of the sun.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, man. Fire. You I just appreciate you being vulnerable and really just hey, if you're watching this, when's the last time you got live on the internet talking about something that you significantly have struggled with for a long time? So, I just want to acknowledge you, bro, for the courage that it takes. I don't have that kind of courage. I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to be straight up. I'm going to be transparent and vulnerable. Being like, I don't have that courage. So I just want to acknowledge you, bro, to say, that takes a lot of courage, man. And I think just the simple fact that you are discussing this in this kind of a form, it just shows that how committed you are to change. So I think that
transformation.
Transformation is the word. And so I think that, this definitely is going to really be impactful for you just by you actually putting light on something that you struggle with.
It's the best birthday present ever, bro. One day you'll see it.
He's right.
This
wait. Fire, you said he's agreeing with me.
Imagine that.
Nice.
Everybody can change. Anybody can change.
Hey, he's uncomfortable being uncomfortable right now. He's comfortable being uncomfortable right now. I love it, Win. Go ahead, Earthman. Go ahead, buddy.
No, but Fire, I'm really excited for you, and I'm excited to actually be a part of your life. It's actually a privilege, to watch the ebbs and flows, and there's no particular time stamp that says you have to be here by this age. And oftentimes we put that on people. By 18, you should be X. No, by whenever you're X, you're X. And so to watch you navigate life as you navigated life, to watch you put, your family first above, your own personal dreams and wishes and goals it was just for me, it was phenomenal to watch. And it's been a true inspiration to see that and to see you begin to transform to a place where both can exist at the same time, where your family can be first and the fulfillment of why you even came in this lifetime can also be first, and both function on a high level. And it's just going to be amazing to see you get to that point, to that place in your life. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. So yeah.
Woo, man. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna toss it over to Big Shoe because he got the show next week. Elementals. If you don't have a circle like this right here, you just saw it. And if you've been rocking with us, you've been seeing it. And so get yourself some soul brothers and some soul sisters, man, that see beyond this physical facade, this bag of bones and your personality and your ego and your projected image of whoever the heck you think you are. That see straight to the heart of the matter. That see straight to your divinity. Number one. Number two, water. As you were speaking, I got something. I promise you this. Elementals, I promise you this. that in my freedom, you're witnessing me be expanded or a rebirth, however you want to categorize it. But it is my freedom of expression that will free you. In fact, one of the prerequisites for me being who I was called to be was for me to be operating in the space of freedom. Because it cannot be accomplished from a place of bondage or an attachment to a context that has expired. I'm the first client. Biggie said, I'm not only the client, I'm the player president. I gotta be the freedom president. I want all my people free. Y'all don't understand how much I mean, I will die for y'all to be free. All of y'all. And what do I mean? But I ain't talking about no 500,000 in, on your income taxes. I'm talking about you administering your medicine in a way in which only you can. I'm talking about you being free, freeing others in perpetuity, a domino effect of freedom and power. A ripple effect at the level of humanity of every one of us operating inside of our God-given gifts and ancestral callings. My God, what a planet that would be. And I'm out to do my part to make sure I set as many people ablaze and on fire and you will do the same. I'm just a domino. But I understand that what Water is saying is that it's the process of me freeing myself that sets it off for all the people who follow me, for all the people who are influenced by me, for all the people that I've impacted and touched. I spent 8 hours saying thank you to people who wish me happy birthday today. We're talking about thousands of people on multiple platforms. It'll be 3 days before I get to everybody. I couldn't even get any work done. The outpouring of love has been immense.
Hopefully his boss doesn't hear that.
And that's who you are, brother.
Bro, I already told her this morning I can't get nothing done. I said, sorry, I just saw your text 3 hours later. I'm just telling everybody thank you because that's how I am. That's how God made me. That's the God in me expressed. So I leave y'all with that, man. And I love y'all too. And elementals, I know some of y'all don't know me. Those of you who know me know when I say I love you, I mean every word of that SHIT. Those of you who know me know that I mean every word of it. Those of you who don't, it's fine. You'll learn. It's real. I want y'all free. You want to close us out? You got the next show, brother.
So we're going to continue the conversation, but we're going to take it from a different cut. And the title of the show is Wellness, the Pathway to Freedom. The Pathway to Freedom. And I'm going to just pause right there and bid everybody a great night, a great week. Peace, everybody.
Deuces.
Next week.